to another episode here at Real in Films. And today we're going to be reviewing the film, the final chapter of The Strangers, Chapter 3, that will be on theaters. It will be, by the time that this is live, it will be already on theaters. So, The Strangers, Chapter 3, guys, I do gotta say, what a phenomenal film. So, we directed by Rennie Harlan. We have our main cast that is Hannah Galway playing as Claire, Emma Horvath playing as Shelley. We have Ellsworth, Dollface, Photo Double. We have Gabriel Basso as Grabber Green. We have Madeline Petz playing as Maya, and then Richard Bake playing as Sheriff Rodder. So if you guys have been up to like have seen all these the first two chapters, so we continue this horror trilogy with these strangers, right, that are haunting, trying to go ahead and haunt the life of our main character Maya, played by Madeline Petch, that we have seen her in Riverdale. We have seen her in Riverdale. She is a part of. She's the redhead on Riverdale, and I do gotta say that being the fact that this is the final chapter, I got to see the first two. The first two, I loved them, and this one, I loved it as well. That ending, it was like, whoa. I think that out of the three, I would like if I would put them in ranking, I'll be one, three, two. I think that the second one was not that as great as I was expecting. But the third one, wow, it just blew my mind. It blew my mind. The aspect of having like a type of like horror slasher film, but you have the horror aspect part like be a little bit much more predominant on this film. And sometimes yes, this film is really predictable in terms of like what is gonna happen next, or who's gonna go bye bye next and whatnot. But the fact that the film maintains a straight line on what they wanted to present to you, and with the ending that we have on the film, I felt that, at least myself, I felt that the film was got into my soul, and I felt satisfied onto what I watched, and it was very intriguing on this final chapter. And I do gotta say, sadly, we didn't got a chance to speak with the director. There was a little kind of mix up because of timing issues. At least on my side, I thought that the interview was a certain hour, and it was another one. Things happen, and that's fine. But I do got to say that the film in a whole was super fun. I would have loved to ask Rennie, how was it to maintain the same kind of the same momentum from chapter 1 until chapter 3, because you're following the same story in three different films, you know. And I understand, yes, it's fine, you maintain the story in three different films. Like, let's say for instance, first movie that came out of my mind, like Terminator, you have Terminator 1, 2, and 3. They all maintain somewhat of the same storyline, but this it's kind of different, you know. Terminator 1 and 2, even though they're the same story, but they're kind of inverted. In this film, you're doing the same story for three different films, and each film has to be kind of different, like that you can like enjoy what you're watching. And in Strangers Chapter 3, we don't care about Maya anymore. We care about the strangers, these villains, these serial killers. Um, and each film, when you go back to chapter 1, chapter 2, and now chapter 3, when you go to each chapter, they give you like a small explanation of like a meaning of something. So if I'm not mistaken, um the first chapter was the meaning of like strangers, and then the second chapter was uh man, I forgot what was the second chapter's like word of the day, because it's kind of like word of the day. And in the third chapter, they give you like the meaning of serial killer, right? They give you the meaning of serial killer, and that's the word of the day on that film. And it's really interesting that each chapter had like their meaning pop off and be like the main attraction of what you wanted to what you wanted to see on this film. And not only that, the other thing that I really did enjoy of this film was, I'm not gonna say the performances. Performances were okay. Um, I did see that a lot of people, the part of the cast members, half the time the film is just running and screaming and asking questions and going goodbye. So there's not that much like dialogue in the film, but there are certain parts on this one that they added like certain like scenes from the past. Um, and at least the performances from the past, I really did enjoy. In terms of like performances, I would say that being the fact that the film is kind of repetitive in that aspect, the running, the screaming, the characters that you have been seeing in the past two chapters. So I would say that in terms of performances, it was okay because it's something that we've seen over and over on all of these films. But the fact that in this film they focus more on like the strangers, the villains, they focus more on them, it brings a little bit much more life to this film. And I think that that's why I enjoyed this one more than the second one, because the second one, even though it had its little things, it was basically all over the place. It was not like grounded on like focusing on a story to add to the film. Chapter 2 was that filler episode that we see either in anime or in a TV show, right? But when you reach chapter 3 is a whole nother thing. We're getting more backstory on our villains. We're getting more meat on getting to know them, probably have a connection, not on the bad side, but on what they went through, or what's their mindset. And it's really, really great because when you reach the ending is very cathartic in a way for our main character. And I really did enjoy that aspect of the film. And what would happen next if they would make like a chapter 4? I don't think that they're going to make a chapter 4, but if they turn this to like a TV series that we follow, um Maya, I think it will be kind of interesting. I don't want to go in details because then I will be spoiling you guys like the whole film, but the movie per se as a final chapter for this trilogy is phenomenal. I really did enjoy it. I loved the I loved I really really like I said, the performances were okay. I really enjoyed more the camera angles, how they used uh the forest and certain items that you would find that they randomly find on the film set. It was really great. It was a film that I think that if you watch it, you will be yeah, you will be stuck on your seat because again, a good I would say that a good horror film or slasher film is a film that maintains you in the seat and does not let you stand up and look for more popcorn or more I had the word right there, or more soda. You know what I mean? But Strangers Chapter 3 is a great watch. It's a great watch. I would rewatch all of them over and over again. It's a mo- great trilogy for just to enjoy. To not to have the whole family, but to have those friends that love horror and slasher films. This trilogy is the film to enjoy that. So tell me, guys, tell me in the comments below if you have already seen all three films, in what order you like them. Like for me, it would be 1, 3, 2. But tell me in the comments below what's your order of your favorite. What's the order of your favorite Stranger films? I know that there's more, but in terms of the chapters, and nothing. Hey, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Reel In Films, and expect more content coming your way. So we will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.